Welcome to this installment of Our Kids Today. I'm Rick Hess. I'm the CEO of Pasco Kids First, and we're pleased that you're joining us once again for our installment today. Today, we're pleased to have with us Chief Kim Bogart, who is the police chief for the Newport Richey Police Department. Chief, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
We're here today to talk a little bit about an event that's coming up that Chief knows about, called Silver Linings, Celebrate the Silver Linings. It's a gala event taking place on April 21st at 6:30 at Spartan Manor, and we'll give you all this information later in the broadcast as well. So our goal is to highlight the issues of child abuse prevention and all the things going on in the community that have to do with kids and families and building them up, because as you know, at Pasco Kids First, we believe in keeping kids safe and strengthening families. We're here to talk a little bit about today about the interplay between law enforcement and what we do at Pasco Kids First, and that's part of the reason that the chief is here. Another reason is that the chief is also going to be one of our speakers at our event, and we're looking forward to his presentation there. So, Chief, can you talk just a little bit about the law enforcement perspective? We deal with, obviously, child abuse issues and that type of thing, and that's certainly something that law enforcement has a big part to play.
Well, it's almost impossible to figure out a place to begin when you're talking about that topic. There are so many incidents that we respond to where there is child abuse, and it can be physical abuse or sexual abuse and psychological abuse. I mean, there's just so many types of things that we end up dealing with that we see, and then we, when we're done with that call for service and we calm the situation down and someone either does or doesn't go to jail and all of that, there is still the aftermath of all of that, and that's where the partnership comes in between us and you. And without you, we have no place to go. We have no place to turn to be able to help those families.
We know from everything that we see in the media and that type of thing, there's so many challenges with police work these days. I know it's such a challenging environment to be in, because you guys are dealing with so many different types of criminal activity and trying to keep the community safe, just as we try to keep kids safe.
Well, that's absolutely true.
One of the things that we talked a little bit about earlier with the chief was some of his ideas about some of the criminal activity that really, if he had one type of criminal activity that he could kind of do away with or eradicate, what would that be? And you had a really interesting answer, Chief.
Well, it's when you think about it, there's for me, when I think about it, we have drug problems. Everyone knows that there's very serious drug problems. We have prostitution issues, the homeless issues, and many types of situations that we respond to and that we deal with. But I think the number one crime, if you will, that I would love to see eradicated, and that would be domestic violence. I think domestic violence is the key to so many other issues. Oftentimes, kids that grow up in a household that have domestic violence issues, they grow up to be, they follow that same pattern. They can't seem to break free from it. Or they grow up and have psychological issues to where they lack confidence. They hang with the other kids of like-mindedness, and the next thing you know, they're into serious criminal activity, or they're turning to drugs because of their lack of confidence, and or they drop out of school, and all of those things compound.
Yes.
And so I think it's actually the root of many of the issues that we deal with.
Right, that intrafamilial violence that takes place in so many families at this point. It's one of the things, as you know, that we at Pasco Kids First struggle with all the time. We've got great partners in the community that work with that as well. Sunrise Domestic Violence program, and up here in Hernando County, we have a good partnership with the Dawn Center as well. So all of those are vital community community services.
They deal so much with those kids.
Right.
And it's just at a crucial time. It's critically important to deal with that. You can't ignore that.
Right.
And that's the true benefit that you give us in law enforcement, the hand that
Well,
you give
thank
us.
you. Now, the Newport Richey Police Department also has a Facebook page, and you can find out everything that is going on with the police department in Newport Richey on that Facebook page. So we want to thank Chief Bogart for joining us today. Appreciate you being with us, and we want to just tell you again about our event, which is the Silver Linings event. Celebrate the Silver Linings, April 21st, 6:30 at Spartan Manor. We have some great entertainment lined up, a group of kids who play music that have been former foster kids and have a story to tell in addition to the music that they play. We understand they're going to be really entertaining. We have some other surprises for you in store. Our MC will be Tammy Fields, local personality, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it, and I sure hope as many people as possible can join us.
You can find anything that you need to know about that on our website, which is pascokidsfirst.org. Anything about ticket prices and sponsorships, it's all there for you. And so we appreciate you being with us today. Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
So we want to thank you for joining us here today, our kids today. Again, I'm Rick Hess with Pasco Kids First, helping to keep kids safe and strengthen families.